sunrise touch her red hair and green eyes, she'd don her favorite cardigan, clutch her notebook and pen, and head to her hidden garden. It was a quaint spot, bordered by a low stone wall and wildflowers. But what drove her there every day was the ancient willow tree. The old tree had stood through storms and sunshine, watching children grow and leave town, love come and go in the lives of the many which came to it. After her husband James passed, it became Lily's place of calm. Every day, she would sit on the old bench beneath the tree, writing letters to James. Even though she knew he would never receive them, she persisted. After finishing each letter, she would tuck it into the small nook in the tree. It was her way of sending her words out into the universe, hoping that somehow they might reach him and remind him that she still loved him. On another one of those mornings, she noticed a young boy, around 12, with messy black hair and lost brown eyes. He just stood there, hesitant to get closer. "Hello there," Lily called out, her voice warm and inviting. The boy looked up, startled, as if he hadn't expected to be noticed. "Hello," he whispered. "Are you lost?" she asked, curious as to what brought him here. The boy shook his head. "No, I was just walking and I found this place." Lily smiled. "It's a lovely spot, isn't it? I come here every day. Would you like to join?" The boy hesitated but eventually joined her. He sat down at the opposite end, his hands folded in his lap, and for a while they sat in silence, the only sound that being of the rustling of the leaves. "I'm Lily. What's your name?" she said. "Jules," the boy said, looking down at his hands. "It's nice to meet you, Jules. How are you doing?" He hesitated. "It's nice to meet you too, Lily. I'm all right, I guess." He shrugs. Lily nodded, sensing that there was more to the story. But she didn't press him. Instead, she said, "The willow is a good listener." Jules glanced at the tree and then back at Lily. "You come here every day?" Lily simply nods, offering him a soft smile. "I write letters here to somebody I miss very much." Jules looked puzzled. "But there's no mailbox." Lily chuckled softly. "No, there isn't. I suppose it's more for me than for him. But it helps writing them. It makes me feel like he's still with me, somehow." Jules was quiet for a moment and then he asked, "Does it work?" Lily looked up at him, noticing the sadness in his eyes. "It does, in its way. When you lose somebody, it helps to find a way to keep them close, even if it's just in your heart." Jules didn't say anything, but Lily saw a flicker of understanding in his expression. After a while, he stood up. "I should go," he said almost reluctantly. "Of course," Lily replied. In the days that followed, Jules returned to the garden often. At first, he would just sit quietly on the bench watching as Lily wrote her letters. Sometimes he would bring a book and read, though he never really seemed to get very far. Lily noticed that he always seemed distracted, his mind elsewhere. One day, as she was folding her latest letter to James, she noticed Jules staring at the nook in the tree where she placed the letter. "Would you like to see one?" she asked gently. He hesitated but then nodded. So she handed him the folded paper as he took it gently. "It's just a letter," she said with a smile. Jules carefully unfolded the paper and began to read. The letter was simple, filled with Lily's thoughts, but a line stuck out to him. The line saying, "You walk like a miracle, bathing in starlight, and even though you're not here anymore, I will keep you close to me forever." When he finished, he handed the letter back to her. "It's nice," he said softly. "You loved him, didn't you?" "I do," Lily replied, a fond smile on her face. "But it's okay now. I know he's somewhere better. At least I hope he is." Jules looked down at his hands, twisting nervously in his lap. "I miss my mom," he admitted quietly. Lily's heart ached for him. "I'm so sorry." He nodded, his eyes welling up with tears. "I don't know what to do. Everybody keeps telling me it gets easier, but it doesn't feel like it. Each day seems tougher, and I miss her. It's like the world moved on, but nobody seemed to be faced that she's gone, and it's not fair." Lily reached out and gently placed her hand on his. "It doesn't get easier, not really, but you learn to live with it, Jules. Your mother was truly special, and I'm sure of it. And while the world may not stop for her, she lives on in the hearts of those who miss her. Even if just one person remembers and cherishes her, then that's enough to keep her memory alive. She'll always be special because she's still missed, and that love is what matters most." Jules looked up at her, his expression filled with a mix of pain and hope. "Do you think I could write the letters too?" "I think that would be a wonderful idea," Lily said with a warm smile. "And you can leave them here in the tree too. The willow has a way of holding on to memories for us." Jules smiled for the first time since they had met. Okay, I'll try. From that day on, Jules began writing letters. At first, they were very short, just a few sentences about how much he missed his mother and how lonely he felt without her. But as time went on, the letters grew longer. He wrote about his memories of her, the things he wished he could tell her, and the small moments in his day that he thought she would have liked. Each time he finished a letter, he would place it in the nook in the willow tree, and each time Lily would smile, knowing that he was finding somewhat a comfort in the act of writing, just as she had. Their routine continued through the winter and into spring. The willow tree seemed to grow stronger, its branches fuller. One day, as they sat together on the bench, Jules turned to Lily with a curious expression. Do you ever wonder where the letters go? He asked. Lily smiled. Sometimes, but I like to believe that they find their way to the right place, even if we don't know where that is. Jules nodded thoughtfully. I hope my mom is reading them and knows how much I miss her. She does, Lily said softly, and I'm sure she's proud of you. Jules smiled, a small, grateful smile. Thank you, Lily. As the days grew warmer, they continued their visits to the garden. The letters became a part of their lives, a way for them to express their feelings, and though they never spoke of it, both of them felt a deep connection to the willow tree, as if it were a bridge between them and those that were taken from them. But one day in late summer, Jules arrived at the garden to find the bench empty. He waited, expecting Lily to appear, but she never came. Concerned, he returned the next day and the day after, but still there was no sign of Lily. Worried, Jules asked a neighbor about Lily and was told that Lily had to leave town for her cancer treatment. Jules' heart sank. He had grown fond of Lily, and the thought of losing her too was unbearable. He wanted to visit her, to bring her one of his letters to cheer her up, but he didn't know where to find her. Weeks passed and still there was no sign of her. Jules continued to write his letters, but he no longer placed them by the tree. Instead, he kept them in a small box in his room, unsure of where they belonged anymore. Then one afternoon, Jules returned to the garden to find somebody sitting on the bench. It was a woman with brown eyes and a gentle smile and red hair that looked just like Lily. Hello, Jules, she said softly as he approached. Jules looked at her in surprise. Who are you? My name is Holly, she replied. I'm Lily's daughter. Jules' heart skipped a beat. How is she? Is she okay? Holly's smile faltered. I'm sorry. She passed away a few days ago. She was very peaceful and she wanted me to come here and thank you. Tears welled up in his eyes as he looked away, trying to hide them. I'm so sorry, Jules, Holly said gently. I know how much she meant to you. She talked about you all the time. I'm sorry too, Holly, Jules said, his voice trembling. He sobbed quietly, his shoulders shaking with grief. Holly reached out and pulled him into a comforting embrace. After a while, Jules wiped his tears with the back of his hand. I didn't even get to say goodbye, he said, his voice choked with emotion. Holly smiled sadly. She knew how much you cared, Jules, and she told me to give you a message. She said to look for a letter addressed to you in the nook by the willow tree. After spending a few more hours with Holly in the garden, Holly leaves hugging Jules goodbye. He searched for the letter at the little nook by the willow. It was one at the top, addressed to him in Lily's familiar handwriting. It read, Dear Jules, by the time you read this, I may have already left this world. But please know that you have brought immense light to my final days. I have watched as you found comfort in the writing to your mother, just as I did with James. In our shared grief, we found a little bit of light, didn't we? But it's true, in our effort to live a life full of meaning, we forget to, well, live. I'm glad I got to live a moment with you. You remind me of the joy in the simple things, like the way the sun feels on your face or the sound of leaves rustling in the breeze. I remember you once told me your favorite color is blue. I've had to think about it a lot. So I want you to remember that you are all that is vast and unknowable. You are rain and butterflies. You are the sky and the sea beneath. You carry a piece of your mother with you in every laugh, in every tear, and in every breath you take. Thank you for being my friend, Jules. I hope you find peace and remember that the willow tree will always be there, holding on to our memories long after we are gone. With all of my love, Lily. He looked around the garden, at the flowers blooming in the late summer sun, at the willow tree that had a silent witness to it so much. The garden remained special to Jules. Through the pain of loss lingered, it was softer now. He would continue writing his letters, keeping loved ones close in his heart, knowing they would find their way to the right place. It became a place of healing. As he grew older, he often found himself returning to the garden, sometimes alone, sometimes with his wife and kids. He was happy now. And so the willow tree continued to stand, its branches gently swaying in the breeze, a silent guardian of the memories and letters tucked away in its nook. Thank you.